This is madness. We have no idea what kind of force they'll unleash on the city. There may be other ways to resolve the situation.
Without concentrating our forces, we won't be able to oppose them effectively.
And what do you propose? Surrender to the mercy of this darkness? What kind of Queldore would we be after that? Where is the honor you shared with me all these years?
Your aggressive attitude will destroy what little stability remains among our citizens. Without proper command and leadership, your army will collapse. And I dread to think what will happen then. Perhaps this power is a sign for us, a revelation.
My king, perhaps we should try to negotiate. I'm sure everything can be resolved peacefully.
We can't.
What? But why?
Think for yourself, Teradia. What kind of negotiations can there be with the dead? Are you suggesting I sit at the table with a ghoul or a skeleton? I'm afraid we have no other choice now. The only thing I can do is teleport you to the port. Whatever happens, you must not allow the High Elf people to fracture and become scattered scavengers in the desert.
So be it.
You are making a grave mistake. This could become our new power, perhaps even a replacement for our Sunwell.
I stay.
No, Malazria, we don't have much time. I can't afford to sacrifice anyone in what's to come. You must go with them.
Sacrifice? To make a sacrifice, you must first see it. But how can you see something that is invisible?
Whatever today ends with, I am sure the elven people will endure. Let's go.
Make your choice.
Evil is near. Do you see something?
I smell magic in the air.
I'm on the job.
I wouldn't cross me if I were you.
What ails you?
On the job. To arms, enemies. Contract didn't mention anything about Undead. To arms, enemies. My contract didn't mention anything about the Undead.
I'm listening to you.
To arms, enemies.
I am your servant. We will persevere. Right away.
My contract didn't mention anything about the Undead.
My
To
lord.
arms, enemies.
Oh dear.
My contract didn't mention anything about the Undead. To arms, enemies. My contract didn't mention anything about the Undead. My contract didn't mention anything about the Undead.
Our king knows little. Yes, my friend. I am your servant. I'm here. Glory to the High Elves. Our enemies
Didn't mention anything about the Undead. contract didn't mention anything about the undead.
Hard times require heavy investment.
To arms, enemies.
Help me.
My contract didn't mention anything about the undead.
What's the plan? Sounds interesting. I'll take a look.
To arms, enemies.
Hard times require heavy
My
investment.
contract didn't mention anything about the undead. To arms, enemies. My contract didn't mention anything about the undead.
Magic in the air.
Hard times require heavy
To
investment.
arms, enemies.
Not enough, Mark. Take your time.
Your mana is depleted.
Child's play.
To arms, enemies.
Hard times require heavy investment.
I thirst for magic.
Those of magic are whimsical today.
My contract didn't mention anything about the undead. To arms, enemies.
What a good idea. Help me. Help me. What a good
To arms, enemies. My contract didn't mention anything about the undead. To arms, enemies. My contract didn't mention anything about the undead.
Hard times require heavy investment.
To arms, enemies.
Hard times require heavy investment.
My contract didn't mention anything about the undead. To arms, enemies.